Why is the credit score from CreditKarma going to be different than what I would pull as your mortgage lender? First off, let's define what a credit score is and all the different players and terminology. Let's start off with the credit bureaus. The three major credit bureaus are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. These are data depositories. Their sole purpose in this is to collect information from your creditors, and they're going to collect information like the credit limits on any given account. What are your payments? What are your balances? What's your payment history like? What is the current status? The important thing to realize from that explanation is that they're not giving a score. They're just taking data in. Now let's talk about a credit score and what it really is and what its aim is. A credit score's purpose is to take all of this information that a credit bureau has compiled, put it through a scoring model or an algorithm, and spit out a score. There are different companies that have developed algorithms that interpret that data. You might have heard of FICO. That is one company that has developed not just one score, but actually many different versions, which are used by different industries. So if you have an auto loan that you're applying for, they might use a different version of FICO or a different scoring model than what I as a mortgage lender will pull. The other thing to realize is that we as your mortgage lender are going to pull from all three bureaus. So we're going to contact all three bureaus, get your credit score from all three, and we're going to use your middle one. So there's not just one score, but there's three, and then we will use the middle. Now this brings us to CreditKarma and other credit monitoring services. If you read the fine print, what you'll notice is that in most cases, they're not using a FICO score, or at least a version that we use as a mortgage lender. In many cases, it's going to be a Vantage score. So this is a competing company to FICO, so they've developed their own algorithm. So it takes the same data from all those credit bureaus, and it just spits out that information in a little different way and a little bit of a different credit score. So is their credit score wrong? Well, not really in the true sense of the word. It is a true score, it is a true interpretation of that same data, but it's not a score that we as a mortgage lender or maybe another creditor might use. So why use these scores? What's the purpose of them? Well, first, you have to realize that a company like CreditKarma, you have given your information over to them. So they are now able to collect data upon you. You've given access to them for free, which they can then in turn sell to different companies. But two, what I think is the main takeaway from these services is that don't get so wrapped up in what that score is, because it might not be one that is used by creditors, but it is called a credit monitoring service. So use it to monitor your credit. Don't get too wrapped up in the score, but instead start to use it to monitor what information is being reported about your debts. Make sure that it's accurate. So if you're utilizing one of these services and it says that your credit card balance just jumped up, make sure that it's accurate. And while the scores may not be 100% accurate, you can at least use it as a baseline to figure out what the overall trend of your credit score is. Hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, reach out anytime.